What are the financial keys for running a successful influencer business? We're going to cover 6 financial keys in this episode of the Profit Pillar Show. I'm your host, Parker Stevenson, CEO of the accounting firm Evolve Finance and author of the book Profit Pillars. Now, let's talk about what an influencer is to kick off this episode, because the influencer has kind of become a broad term. Now, I think the more stereotypical term for or definition of an influencer is someone that has a large audience, typically on social media, and then they utilize that large audience to score brand deals and sponsorships, and that's how they make their money. And so that's like the classic influencer business model. But over the years, with platforms like Google and TikTok not really paying their content creators very much money for the views that they get, for the subscribers that they grab. Definitely not enough money for most people to make a living from, and definitely not enough money to really maximize the opportunity of having an audience that large. So influencers have had to expand, which is why so many influencers do look for brand and sponsorship deals to sponsor their YouTube content or to sponsor their podcasts, or to even do sponsor posts on Instagram, right? We've all seen it. We all get what that is. But influencers have had to get more creative with how they use their audiences, how they use their influence to generate revenue. And that's why, in my mind, most of our clients at Evolve Finance are influencers, because an influencer is usually a personal brand, not an organization, not a company, but a personal brand where they have an audience on social media. They have an audience on an email list, and they might have a very niche audience around a very niche subject, but they have an audience that they can engage with and sell offers to. Now, a classic influencer, again, I think people focus on sponsorships and brand deals, but there's a lot of influencers who are using their audiences to sell digital products, to sell services, to sell physical products. That's just kind of the reality of the space now, because I think a lot of influencers and online business owners just understand the value of an audience. And as it's gotten more difficult to build a large audience, as advertising gets more expensive, the algorithm is always changing, engagement is lower on social media, or at least it has been the last couple years relative to years past. You have to think about your influencer business model in a more businessy way, for lack of a better term here. You have to be looking at all the opportunities that having an engaged audience can provide you to make money, and to do so sustainably. So that's why I wanted to talk about the 6 financial keys to running a successful influencer model, because for the last 11 years, I've seen a lot of our clients build tremendous audiences and figure out ways to monetize it. Again, some of our clients have been influencers that focus more on brand deals, and some of them have focused more on selling products to those audiences. And then we've had a lot of clients that have had a combination of both, that live somewhere in between. So that's why I want to speak to the financial keys, because over these last 11 years, not only have I seen them have success and also failures around this, I've advised and guided a lot of our clients at Evolve Finance around how to maximize the financial side of their influencer business model. So I have 6 keys we're going to talk about here. If you don't consider yourself to have a classic influencer business model, these keys are still going to be really important. I think there's one point here that's going to be very specific to influencers, but the rest are things that I would probably tell any business owner, but I especially think it's important for anyone who does think of themselves as an influencer in some capacity, because they have a great YouTube following, Instagram following, or any other platform, TikTok, and just to get you into the right mindset as a person with a business like that, as a more influencer business model, to make sure you are thinking like a business owner, because that's really what an influencer is. It's just a form of entrepreneurship that demands a lot of the same things that a more classic business owner would also have to do. So let's start with the first key here. And it's kind of what I just said. The first key here is treat your business like a business, not a cash machine. Because I think it's easy for a lot of people who are content creators, they make a lot of content, and then they get their sponsorships and brand deals to almost feel like it's like a career, it's a job. They do the thing, they make the money goes in their bank account, and then they feel like that's my money. And it is your money, but also businesses have to account for expenses. They need to plan for down months and have cash reserves, which we're going to talk more about in a second here. So this is something I've watched a lot of online business owners do over the years, and I'm seeing them do it less and less now because I think there is an understanding that as an influencer or an online business owner, you can't just take every dollar of profit out of your business if you want it to grow, if you want it to be stable, and if you want it to have longevity. So pick a salary for yourself, start to figure out how much can your business really afford to pay you each month, and don't just take every dollar out as it comes. I mean, you can do that if you want to, but you're just going to have a much more stressful experience running your business when you never have any extra cash left over in your business. Now, with a lot of influencer models, it's easy to go, well, I'm going to do all the things and make all the money, and you can do that. That is an option. But the second financial key here is making sure that as your income increases, especially if it increases substantially, as you get bigger sponsorship deals, bigger brand deals, you start to sell your own products to your audience, that you budget for expenses. And not just general expenses like software or travel costs, but team. I remember we had a client that did all of their own editing for years and years, and they eventually realized, okay, between filming the content, editing the content, and then getting it up online, there wasn't enough time in the day, and it became such a grind for them. The content if you're going down that content creation influencer path, man, that is a lot of work. So one of the things that I told them to look into is you got to find an editor. You got to find someone that can take that piece off your plate, and they had to make sure they set the budget aside to do that, and they had to figure out, well, how much more content can we create if we're paying someone to do the editing, and how much more revenue will we generate because of that? And chances are that extra revenue will cover the cost of their editor and more. So these are again, it's just a more business-like approach to something like content creation, especially influencers that focus on brand deals and sponsorships. But even then, it's like a production company or a media company. We got to be able to have the budget set aside to scale up the team so we can pump out more content, get more ad dollars, sponsorships, brand deals, etc. Now, the third key, and this one is very specific to influencers who really toe the line between influencer and celebrity. Because in my mind, at least, most celebrities nowadays are kind of influencers, right? Celebrities were the original influencers. Typically, we think of celebrities as people who are, extremely famous from playing sports, being in movies, being on TV shows. And, the way they make their money is by getting big contracts, getting big movie deals, TV deals, stuff like that. But now celebrities are starting their own brands. They're starting alcohol companies, supplement companies, and everything in between. So a lot of celebrities have moved into an influencer business model because they understand the power of having a large audience. And obviously they'll get sponsorships and brand deals as well. It used to be they would just do commercials. Now they're doing sponsorships and brand deals, and the content they post on YouTube or on Instagram or so on and so forth. So a lot of influencers now, in a lot of ways, there's influencers like, I can't even imagine how many people could tell me, oh, have you heard of so-and-so from YouTube. And I'm like, I have no idea who that is, but they have 10 million followers, right? That's celebrity status. If 10 million people know who you are, you're a celebrity. And not to get too off topic here, but we have clients that have far smaller audiences than that who will still get like recognized, or people will run into them like, oh, I read your book, or I follow your content on Instagram, or whatever it may be. So really, as personal brands with any sort of audience, you're kind of a mini celebrity in your own right. But obviously that gets more solidified. You get more credible with maybe that sort of term, the larger your audience gets. So one of the things that, one of the financial norms that's typically been in the celebrity space, in the actor and sports star space, is business managers. These are accountants that manage the entire financial lives of these celebrities. They are very expensive. It's, it can be anywhere from $50,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars to work with one of these business accountants. And the reason they're so expensive is because they literally have the authority to act on the behalf of their clients, to make purchases, to move money around, to truly manage their entire financial livelihood, from taxes all the way down to opening business accounts, or opening financial accounts, moving money around, all that kind of stuff. The idea here is that as the celebrity, your focus should be on your craft, whether it's to be the best baseball player you can be or to be the best actor you can be. And you focus on that, and your team around you will make sure you have all the business opportunities you need. But the thing is, for a lot of influencers, because they have that celebrity, they think, well, I should go down that celebrity path and also have a business manager and have all the same team members that any other celebrity would have, which is all fine and good. But one of the things that I just don't agree with is to have a business manager unless you're making ungodly amounts of money. Because a business manager is going to be far more expensive than just a regular accounting firm is going to be. But also, as an influencer, it robs you of the opportunity to learn more about your business, learn more about how money is flowing in and out of your business, because even celebrities are starting to realize, I got to be an entrepreneur here. I have to understand how business works if I want to maximize my earnings, especially as actors are getting paid less and less as TV and movies become less of a thing, and TV gets more competitive, and so on and so forth. So even celebrities are going, I better learn how to run a business to some degree here. And so when you have a business manager, not only are you spending a ton of money to essentially have a full responsibility taken off of your plate that really you should be getting experience with anyways, it's also just limiting your ability to understand a crucial part of entrepreneurship, which is, how does money go in and out of my business? Now, of course, if you're an influencer making great money, then yes, hire an accountant, get a bookkeeper, do all the things all our clients at Evolve Finance do. They hire us, right, to support the financial side of their business. You still need an accountant. You'll still need bookkeeping. You're still running a business as an influencer. But just going overkill, just like I've seen some of our clients over the years go to expensive, fancy fractional CFO firms where they get, they overpay and only to get a service that really is overkill for what their business needs. Same thing goes with business managers. Just make sure you're hiring an accounting team, a financial team that fits the needs of the size of your business and also allows you to still take part in and be a part of being a business owner, which is what being an influencer is all about. Now, the fourth key here is something I've already talked about, which is diversify your revenue beyond just sponsorships. Again, if you are an influencer that can get sponsorship deals, brand deals, then you either have a very large audience or you have a really great niche audience that allows brands that also want to get in front of that audience to get you brand deals. Take those. It's great. It's great cash to be able to infuse into your influencer business. But like we were talking about before, how many celebrities have started Brands have started real businesses, have created other revenue streams for themselves because they know that acting gigs are tough to come by, who know eventually they're going to retire from their sports and will want to continue to generate income in other ways. The same thing for influencers. Again, if you're a streamer, if you're a YouTuber or whatever it may be, and you get those brand deals, awesome. But also, if you can find other ways, digital products, services, physical products, other ways to generate revenue, it's very much worth it to do it. It just gives you other options if one of your revenue streams, like sponsorships and brand deals, shrinks or goes away altogether. So that's something that I think influencers are figuring out and understanding. But I've seen behind the scenes how valuable having multiple revenue streams can be. But again, it goes back to the second key we talked about. You have to make sure you're generating, or you're not taking all the money out of your business to pay yourself. You need to make sure you have money left over to be able to hire other team members, because chances are when you want to create new revenue streams as an influencer, you do need to likely have some people on your team to help do some of the legwork to get that stuff done. The fifth key here, build a cash reserve. Again, kind of touched upon it in some of our other keys here. Just like any business, you're going to have good months, you're going to have bad months. Well, the way you get through the bad months is by having cash reserves that you've built up by not spending all the money that you generate during your good months. When you have a good month, pay yourself like you would any other month, keep some money in the business, right? Build up those reserves until you get to the point where you've got enough money to kind of handle anything. What we recommend for our clients is 3 months of cash reserves to handle 3 months of expenses for your business. And then once you get to 3 months, you really don't need to save any more money. You can take that money and pay yourself. But again, a lot of influencer-based business owners, if they're treating their business like a cash machine, then cash machines spit money out. You don't typically put money into them. Not a lot of people making deposits into ATMs anymore these days. So building those cash reserves not only allows you to have a rainy day fund in your business, but it allows you to know you have the money to pay yourself even during a bad month. It allows you to make investments in your business without having to go into debt. And those cash reserves also reduces the chances that you would have to use a credit card or have to take out a loan in order to get through a bad month. So again, that's what every business needs to do. But as an influencer, with an influencer business model, you gotta do the same thing if you want to have sustainability in your business. Now, the last key here, number 6, is put your money into other investments. This is where, if we go back to my book, Profit Pillars, one of the first things we talk about in the book is the importance of profit, because influencer business models, most online business models revolving around personal brands, likely never going to be able to sell your business. If so, not for a lot of money, at least not like life-changing money the way certain other businesses can provide. So you have to take the profit you generate from your business and be smart with it, be responsible with it. And that means putting it into investments, into retirement accounts, into real estate, into whatever you want to do, but just not spend all of it on your lifestyle. I'm a big proponent of enjoy your money. If you're making great money, enjoy it. But also, we all want to retire one day. We all want to have flexibility and options maybe later in our careers. The way you do that is by having money squirreled away. And this is where a great tax team can not only help you save on taxes, but help you get money into some of these investment vehicles at the same time. And so that's where having a team that does tax planning, like we do at Evolve Finance, can help you kill two birds with one stone, right? Where you get to cut back on your tax bill, which is what any accountant should be doing. But again, also to help you put money into retirement accounts at the same time, help you understand what you can do with some of those profits to help you plan and save for the future. But as with any career, right, you can make more money and just spend more money. more expensive car, more expensive rent, more vacations, more expensive clothes, right? It's easy to increase our cost of living and find ourselves with more stuff, but not necessarily more money in the bank, especially when you live in an expensive city. So that's where being mindful of, once your profits are more than taking care of your lifestyle, using those profits to set yourself up. We've had clients that have just shut their businesses down, said, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. People with big audiences, big followings who are just done. They made great money. They were smart with their profits over the years. They shoveled it away into investments, and they have flexibility. If they don't ever want to start a business again, they don't have to. If they want to go get a job, they can. If they don't want to work for a really long time, they don't have to. So I've just seen some of our clients make those decisions, and I think for them, they're stoked. They're very happy that they didn't just spend their money as it came in. They didn't just increase their lifestyle costs as their businesses grew, because at least for me, in my opinion, I'm not a particularly materialistic person. I want freedom. I want to know I have options, and I want security. And that's what having money squirreled away can really provide. So those are my 6 financial keys for an influencer business. Again, you might not be a full-blown influencer business, but chances are, if you're anything like our clients at Evolve Finance, you have that influencer component to what you do. You probably have a following. You probably have an audience. So again, those 6 financial keys to running a successful influencer business: treat your business like a business, not a cash machine. Budget for team, because if you want to grow beyond just yourself, you need to make sure you have enough money left over after paying yourself to invest in other people. Don't overpay for an accountant, especially if you are an influencer with a large audience getting into that celebrity status. You don't have to work with a business manager and a really expensive accountant to get your needs met. Diversify your revenue streams. The more your business just relies on sponsorships and brand deals, the more risky it becomes. Build cash reserves. That's how you get through bad months and also stay out of debt. And then put money into investments, the number 6 here. This is what we just talked about. If you're making great profit, you're paying yourself well, make sure you're putting it into retirement accounts and saving for the future. So hopefully one day you don't have to be running a influencer-based business, and you can, retire like everybody else. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at evolvefinance.com. Go to our website and go to our contact page if you ever have any questions about the episodes. But I hope that was helpful. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.